Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we're going to do another manga review. Now today's manga we're going to be reviewing is 5 centimeters per second. This is written by Makoto Shinkai. It's illustrated by Yukiko Seike. It's published by Vertical. It's a seinen, and I guess it's romance and slice of life. This is based on a film, which I guess is based on a novel. And yeah, so the premise here is basically these kids fall in love, move away, drift apart, and then you kind of follow the male character as he basically turns into this emotionally stunted, not loser, but like person that's stuck in a rut for like basically his whole life. And it's interesting, I guess, but the female character seems to have moved on pretty easily, and you're just kind of like, what the heck, man? Why did this happen? So in my reviews, I look at 5 things. I look at plot, character, world building, art, and fan service. The first 3 are kind of my objective take on the book. Art is just my opinion, and fan service is a word of warning for people that are not interested in it. Yeah, and then I'll give you my rating at the end. So let's just jump into it. The plot here is kind of odd. Like, it's set up into 3 different arcs, kind of. You get their childhood, and then you get their kind of puberty, like teenage life, and then adulthood. And it's not clearly delineated, but like one page you're reading and he's like a kid, and the next page he looks older, and then again for like the next set of his life. The first part is about these 2 kids that fall in love, and then they have to separate because their parents are moving different places. And so their teenage life is basically them trying to stay connected across distances. And then it kind of has like a climax where they meet up again. But then it's like the last time they'll be able to. And then the adulthood one is basically like just the male character's perspective. And it's him kind of going through his life but never being happy. And overall, the story is just really sad, but it's not like a good sad. Like, you're not like, yeah, this sucks, but I can really, really relate to it. I mean, the kind of stuff that this book talks about is relatable, but there's no depth to it. And that's kind of my problem with the book. But it was just okay. It wasn't deep. It wasn't special. It just kind of like was, you know, that's kind of it. There wasn't anything special about it. The characters are also kind of like there's nothing real unique about them. The male character, Tono, is just like this really polite person, and he was like energetic and had a dream as a child, and then he met this girl, and then they kind of shared it, and then when she went away, his life kind of just like spiraled into like him moving forward but never actually growing emotionally, and basically he leaves like a trail of broken hearts. But it's like, no matter how kind and like nice you are, people can tell that you're completely fake if you don't really like care about these people. So how is it that there's so many women that found him that attractive and that emotionally compelling? Because he had like okay, there's the original girl, and then the girl from his middle school, and then like the main adult woman. But apparently there's been a lot more, and they all kind of go through the same thing, where it's like they care about him, but he doesn't like really care about them. He's kind of just like going through the paces. And it's like, there's no way that many women had the same lack of clarity when it came to this person. It just felt very like, not necessarily contrived, but like unlikely, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like the women would know that they're not being appreciated and would move on rather quickly once they realize that he's not really like there, especially when they notice that he's never there in the present. He's always like looking forward, which is like a thing they say. So why would they stick with him if you guys kind of get my meaning? And then all the female characters are also like, because of the same thing, are also kind of not necessarily realistic, or not necessarily what I would assume they would do, I guess. But I mean, I'm not a woman. I don't really know what the female experience is like. So maybe they would do that, but I very much doubt it. So the female character, the important one, is Akari. And she's like fine. She's not amazing, but she's kind of slightly more compelling than the male character, which is a shame because she's basically only there so that he can have a problem, if that makes any sense. And I didn't really like it. But yeah, there's a few other female characters. There's like the middle school character, which I can't remember her name. I think it's Shimuda, but she was interested in the male character Tono, and she was like in love with him, but like just because she thought he was cool, or like because he wasn't afraid of being a transfer student or something. And it was like, oh, he's so kind to me. It's like, sure, but kindness, because you can't be bothered to be mean, is not necessarily kindness, you know? Like, I don't know how she was like, oh yeah, I love this guy. And then the adult woman was like kind of similar. They never saw each other. They only interacted a little bit. And when they did, he was kind of like not really there with her. And it took her 3 years to realize that he was going nowhere with her and that she needed to move on. That just felt really like wrong, I guess. I just didn't enjoy the characters either. I just didn't love them. I didn't find anything particularly compelling or meaningful about these characters. And then the world building, there's really none. It's just basic Japan. Although as a not Japanese person, I really enjoy all the details and stuff that they put into explaining these places and why they're meaningful. And I did like the whole, we're country bumpkins going to the city, or we're city folk going to a smaller city, I guess. But there wasn't anything special about it either. The art was okay. I mean, it wasn't amazing. It's fair. Let's see. This is probably the nicest one, the nicest piece of art that I could find in the book. Yeah, there's nothing special about it. The color pages are nice, I guess. Yeah, this one's a nice one. But yeah, and then there's no fan service, so it was mediocre, and then there wasn't anything fun to look at either, so it was kind of just like meh. Like the whole experience was just meh. It was, I said underwhelming in my Instagram post, but more like it was just whelming. It just was, and I didn't really find anything special about it, and that's kind of sad because I was looking forward to something special. Like, this is an award-winning film, or it's based on an award-winning film. Why is it so basic? But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I'm not a romance fan, I guess. Like, I do like romance. I don't mind it, and I do want to enjoy it, but this just felt really underwhelming. It was very average, very meh. I didn't feel anything special about it. And here's the thing. There are parts of it that you almost are like, oh, this can be something special. But then the book doesn't do anything with it. The key aspects that it kind of covers is childhood love, letting go, and the destructiveness of love. If you're attached to something that you can't attain, or someone that you can't attain, and the whole like aspect of growing apart because of distance and because of lack of time and connection with people, which as someone that recently got out of high school and started college, and well, I've been in college for 3 years, but as someone that's recently experienced something like that, I was ready to be, swept in and like go on a nostalgic emotional roller coaster, and it just kind of like did nothing with it, and I'm very disappointed with that, and it just kind of sucks. I don't enjoy being sad, but if a story is going to set up things that are going to make me nostalgic and melancholic and sad, I want it to actually make it so that I cry. Or, well, I mean, I don't want to cry either, but like I do want it to affect me. I mean, Komi-san affected me ridiculously. Like, I would sit there after reading a volume just thinking back for like an hour about all this stuff that I loved about high school and enjoyed, and like all the people that I miss. And this really didn't do anything for me at all. And it's like, if Komi-san can do it, why can't this, that's supposed to be based on an award-winning film, do something similar? And it just kind of didn't at all. But, God, it's just so disappointing. But yeah. What else? Was there anything redeeming about it? No, that's the problem. There was nothing special about this book. It's just bad, and I did not love this. My rating is no, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna be mean. It was a 2 out of 5. There was elements of it that could have been good, but nothing was played up. Nothing affected me the way it should have, and I don't feel connected to any of these characters, to any of the storylines, to any of the plot points that exist, because they were executed incorrectly, not deeply enough is really what I mean. If you ask me to recommend this, I'll say if you're easily pushed into melancholy or nostalgia, go for it, read this. But if you're not, this is not going to do anything for you. Just don't even bother picking it up. And I can't think of any similar titles. I think the only things that are kind of similar to this that I've read are Komi-san and secondary side character. But honestly, those are way better than this, and I don't want to compare them to this. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm sorry if I came off kind of negative. It's just my expectations weren't that high because I didn't know anything about this beforehand. But once I looked at it after reading it, I was like, what the hell? This is not even worth anything. Why did this win so many awards? Or the movie, at least. So maybe I'll have to watch the movie and see if it's meaningful. But man, it just was not. But yeah, anyway, if you guys liked my review, please comment down below, subscribe, and like the video. I would really appreciate it if you guys could help me reach 100 subscribers by the end of the month. It'd be super awesome. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.